Ladies and gentlemen, the Philadelphia 76ers blow a 21-point lead to lose to the Chicago Bulls by 2 in the final seconds. Oh my goodness. There is a lot I want to say, and I want to hear from you also. Get in on the Discord. Link is pinned at the top of the chat. Let's go.
Sixers, why won't you just lose and put me out of my misery? Why do you gotta keep doing this to me, bro? Nobody else should touch the ball right here. He shoots it from the logo. Oh, we're going overtime! Tyrese Maxey is a god amongst men!
Welcome back to Run It Back Philly. Thanks for being here. The Sixers, yes, the Sixers just brought us back to the Doc Rivers era. They just brought us back to what we've been used to for years. Our PTSD is in full effect. They blew a 21-point lead and lost this game to the Chicago Bulls. It is unbelievable. We got a lot to say. Before I get into everything I want to say, this is brought to you by Bright Medical of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The 76ers just collapsed and did not take us to the promised land in the fourth quarter. If you have been collapsing lately and have been having trouble taking her to the promised land, you need to call Bright Medical. Bright Medical has generic Viagra and Cialis for $30. Delivered to your door, no cost shipping. That is the cheapest, most affordable price in the area. Call 215-725-MEDS. That is 215-725-6337. Get 10% off your first month's supply when you mention Run It Back Philly when you call. Bright Medical is a family-owned business right in the heart of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They are the #1 medical supply company in Pennsylvania. If you are having trouble getting back on your game, or you've been collapsing in crunch time like the 76ers just did, you need to call Bright Medical. Thank you to Bright Medical for sponsoring the channel. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is this going to be a classic DJ Eastwood crash out? I don't think it is. I don't really think it is, because it's the beginning of the season, and I'm very happy with what this team has looked like so far. They're not going to be perfect all season. There's going to be games that look bad. I think we get a little ahead of ourselves as Sixers fans. You know, sometimes we just assume, like, because the first 5 games of the season were great, that's just going to happen every night. And so something like this happens, and everybody's going to be on the internet like the sky is falling and like this is the worst team they've ever seen in their lives. It is what it is. It happens all over the NBA. It's a game of runs. But yes, the 76ers had a 21-point lead in the first half. In the first quarter, they had a 21-point lead on the Chicago Bulls. And they blew the entire lead and lost the game. Now, down the stretch, I was like, listen, I don't care if you blew the lead, whatever, just win the game. They couldn't even do that. They actually lost the game. Now, I want to tell you, at halftime, I was on the stream, and I said I have a bad feeling about this, and I wasn't just trying to be negative. I was telling you that the Bulls missed a million wide-open shots in the first half. I remember watching the first quarter, and I was saying, you know, I was talking about how bad the Sixers were defensively in the first quarter. I thought they were terrible defensively in the first quarter, but we were building such a big lead, and I was looking at, like, what I was seeing defensively, and then I was looking at the scoreboard, and I was like, this doesn't even make any sense. How are we winning by 13 right now? I feel like we're playing terrible defense, right? And I concluded, because I'm just smart, right? I just know ball. I concluded we weren't actually playing great. The Bulls were just playing really, really bad in the first half. And we're just missing a million wide open shots. And I said, I have a bad feeling the Bulls are going to start to make shots. And if we mess around, we're going to get in trouble. And oh boy, did we mess around. Oh yeah. We went classic Brett Brown era, Doc Rivers era, 76ers basketball, and we messed around. The third quarter continues to be the Philadelphia 76ers kryptonite. Not just this season, every year I've ever been watching this team. What was I going to say about the third quarter? I just forgot what I was saying. I think I said Brett Brown and it totally threw me off. I started to think about very, very terrible things. Yes, we messed around in the third quarter. That's where I was at. We messed around in the third quarter and things got very ugly. Tyrese Maxey was cooking most of this game, and I can't put it on him, but he slowed down in the third quarter. Something about the Quentin Grimes energy in the third quarter I absolutely hated, and I felt like it deflated the 76ers momentum. Now look, and I'm not blaming Quentin Grimes for the whole game. I'm not blaming a single player for the whole game. But I do think Nick Nurse was a dumbass in this one, okay? Now, last season, I called Nick Nurse a dumbass all season long. This season so far, I've been crediting Nick Nurse for a lot of things. I even credited Nick Nurse for implementing Joel Embiid into the offense without playing a lot slower in the first half of this game. Quentin Grimes in this game was horrendous, okay? He had 4 turnovers, I think, in the third quarter. He could not dribble the basketball. He kept trying to do things. He kept turning the ball over. And Quentin Grimes was a big part of the Bulls' run in the third quarter. And I was saying, listen, sometimes you have a good night, sometimes you have a bad night. And after Quentin Grimes airballed a 3 in the corner, on top of all of his turnovers, I said, tell Grimes to clock out and hit the showers, bro. I legitimately did not think Nick Nurse was even going to bring him back in the game. Not only did he bring Quentin Grimes back in the game, who might have been the worst player on the team tonight, he brought him back in the game, let him mess around again in the fourth quarter, and then down by 1 with 3 seconds on the clock, he drew up a play specifically for Quentin Grimes. What? You gotta be absolutely shitting me. NBA, you need to go investigate Nick Nurse. That's it. I don't care. NBA, all the poker games, the Chauncey Billups, all this other shit. All these guys betting on games and getting caught, FBI getting arrested. I want Nick Nurse arrested tomorrow morning. I want the FBI at Nick Nurse's house tomorrow morning because he clearly had money on the Chicago Bulls in this game, because you can't explain to me any other reason you would draw up a final play for Quentin Grimes after the shit game that he had. Tyrese Maxey, 39 points on his birthday, is standing in the backcourt not moving. He draws up the play for Quentin Grimes. And if he was having a good night, I wouldn't hate that, but he was having a terrible night and everybody knew it. All right. That might have been a classic DJ Eastwood crash out. I didn't think I was going to do that, but if you were waiting for that, you're welcome. I just can't believe the final play was drawn up for the guy who was having a terrible night, and the last time he shot the ball, it was an air ball from the corner. Somebody please make that make sense. Now look, the other thing that people are talking about is Joel Embiid coming in the fourth quarter. Now, I'm not going to blame Joel Embiid for this game at all. I'm not going to say anything negative about Joel Embiid actually at all, because this is the first time this season I witnessed the 76ers build a lead with Joel Embiid on the floor, and then lose the lead as soon as he went to the bench. And it happened in this game. It happened in the third quarter. When actually it happened in the second quarter also. They were up by 21. He went to the bench. They got it down to like 13, 15-ish. And they took it back up to 21 by the end of the second. The third quarter, Joel Embiid goes to the bench. For some reason, team completely collapses. And Joel's not even playing his best basketball, right? He's not even close to playing his best basketball. He's not even playing what I would say good basketball according to like based on Joel Embiid's standards. But Joel Embiid goes to the bench with a 19-point lead. And they blow the whole lead. Now, I talk about a Dembona a lot. I talk about Andre Drummond a lot. I think Nick Nurse needs to choose based on the night who comes in there. A Dembona was not good. Now, he was fighting for some boards and things like that. But defensively, a Dembona, I don't know what's going on. He just doesn't really get the rotation part of NBA defense. There's just too many times where it's a ball screen or a pick and roll and the center just runs right to the rim and a Dembona's like out there double teaming the point guard 30 feet from the basket. So I don't know why Nick Nurse didn't at least try Andre Drummond at certain points when the lead was getting, run down in the third quarter all the way down to 7 points. I'm not saying Andre Drummond would have saved the game either. But I thought, he didn't really try anything else when what he was trying wasn't working. So we're actually sitting back saying, for the first time this season, we got to get Joel Embiid back in the game. I don't think Joel Embiid was having some kind of magnificent game. I mean, he was hitting some shots. He was hitting some threes. I do think this is the best game Joel Embiid has had so far this season. And he was playing some defense, too. And he had a big block on Matis Basilis in either the third or fourth quarter that was massive on a fast break. He had another block in the first quarter. So shout out to Joel for slowly ramping up. He did look a lot better in this game than he's looked so far this season. But I didn't think it was anything to write home about. And somehow we blow the whole lead when Joel goes to the bench. So we're saying we need Joel to come back in the game. And Joel comes back in the game, and he gets Nikola Vucevic ISO on the block 5 times in the fourth quarter. Now, this is a guy that used to not be able to defend Joel Embiid to save his life. Joel Embiid used to give Nikola Vucevic a 47-point 15 rebound, 6 block performance with his eyes closed. Joel Embiid used to look at Nikola Vucevic and foam at the mouth because he knew he was going for 50 easily. Joel Embiid got Nikola Vucevic on the block, ISO, 5 times in the fourth quarter, and let me tell you what happened. He got stripped the first time. Turnover. Second time, fadeaway jumper, brick. Third time, fadeaway jumper, brick. Fourth time, stripped again, turnover. Fifth time, fadeaway jumper, brick. Joel got Vucevic on the block 5 times in the fourth quarter and shot 3 fadeaways for bricks and turned it over twice. So I'm not blaming the game on Joel Embiid because the game was already out of hand. The Bulls were already coming back. We were already at, but he's not ramped up. If he's having trouble scoring on Nikola Vucevic in the fourth quarter because he used to absolutely destroy Nikola Vucevic, and that's it. It sucks to see. I'm not blaming Joel for the game, but he came in the game in the fourth to try to save us, and he sucked. Let's call it what it is. That was terrible. Tyrese Maxey, I don't want to slander Tyrese Maxey because he had 39 points. He had like 19 in the first quarter or something. He was cooking. He was on his way to 50. Third quarter, he slowed down a little bit. But when they got it down to 7, Maxey was responsible for keeping us in it. He hit another couple big shots in the beginning of the fourth to get it back to like 11. We thought we were at least going to hold on to a 10-point lead. And then it just all went away. It just all went away. The Bulls started making all the shots that they were missing in the first half. Tyrese Maxey went from couldn't miss to couldn't buy a bucket. On his birthday, I think I compared him to like when you pregame too hard and you don't make it to the end of your own birthday party. That was Tyrese Maxey tonight, man. He was partying for 3 quarters. End of the fourth, it was like he pregamed too hard and passed out on the couch. And the party went on without him. He couldn't buy a bucket, and he got a 3. He had a mid-range jumper that really would have been huge with like under a minute and 30. Airballed it. Then he had another one on the left side. I think under a minute that would have been a big-time dagger when we were up by 1. And he airballed that one too. Oh my God, everything. And look, the sky's not falling. We don't really have to be that upset about this game. But just talking about the game, it's basketball, it's sports. This happens sometimes. But wow, that was an epic collapse. Not just the Bulls surging back, making all the shots they missed in the first half, but the Sixers, the guys who were carrying us, just absolutely went ice cold when it mattered the most. And then Josh Giddey, 13 seconds on the clock. I thought he was playing for the last shot. I'm not an NBA defender. I should have known he was passing the ball. The Sixers should have known he was passing the ball because he's a pass-first guy. He's a point guard. He drives on Maxey. Embiid crashes hard. He sees Embiid crash. He hits Vucevic with a ridiculous lefty dime into the corner from under the rim. Vucevic hits the 3. Vucevic couldn't buy a damn bucket in the first half. He was 0 for 4 from 3 at halftime. He was bricking wide open 3s in the first half, and that's the guy that ends up catching the ball in the corner and putting us away with a dagger 3 with 3 seconds left. Josh Giddey, just a Luka Doncic-esque drive and left-handed dish. You got to credit him for the play that he made. Joel probably shouldn't have crashed that hard, but Joel crashed hard. Somebody should have rotated. Vucevic was wide open again. And then I just cannot believe that Nick Nurse drew up the play for Quentin Grimes at the end of the game. This is the same play he drew up 2 nights ago that failed. Same play. What does he think he's doing? I'm going to catch him off guard. Grimes for 3. The same play ran 2 nights ago when Grimes dropped the ball and couldn't got it to Embiid with no time on the clock. He goes, same play. Let me run Maxey as a decoy in the backcourt and give the ball to Grimes again. It just doesn't make sense. And I know Maxey had 2 air balls in a row in the fourth quarter, but on his birthday, he has 39 points. He's the only reason you're in the game. You 100% have to give the ball to Tyrese Maxey with the game on the line. You have to. Terrible, terrible, terrible decision by Nick Nurse. You have to give the ball to Tyrese Maxey with the game on the line. I don't care what happened. You don't go Quentin Grimes in that situation, especially because Quentin Grimes had 4 turnovers and was 0 for 5 from 3. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. That's my rant about this game. Again, it's one game. It's a long season. It's not a good sign that they blew a 21-point lead, but the NBA is a game of runs. These games happen every single night across the league. I don't know how it happened, how it did. Maxey went ice cold, and Embiid couldn't get a bucket on Vucevic the entire fourth quarter. I think we went 6. And we blow the whole 21-point lead and the Bulls win. I'm going to get to your super chats. I'm going to get to your Discord calls. But first, I got to tell you about DraftKings. current promotion. I like to watch the replay on NBA League Pass because they have the condensed version. They cut it all the way down to 30 minutes with no commercials, no timeouts, no halftime, everything. You can watch every possession of the entire game in 30 minutes. It's the best thing about NBA League Pass. And right now on DraftKings, if you bet $5 and your bet wins, you will get $300 in bonus bets and you will get 3 free months of NBA League Pass. You got to use promo code RUNITBACK on DraftKings. Bet $5. Get $300 in bonus bets and 3 free months of NBA League Pass. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And now that I got DraftKings off the screen, I can say this so it doesn't count as the promotion that I just read. I think Nick Nurse has a gambling problem because he was betting on this game. He was betting on the Bulls in this game because there's no way he drew that up at the end of the game. There's no way. There's no way at all, man. You can't convince me. 600 people in here right now. Do me a favor, hit the like button. Let's get into some super chats, man. The Cerebral, thank you for the super chat. I'm pissed. Sixers win would have gave me $260. Cerebral had money on the Sixers. They were up by 21. And they lost the game, bro. That is what you call a bad beat, my friend. And Cerebral, I'm sorry to tell you, but I think you need to call 1-800-GAMBLER. Because I'm not saying you're addicted, but if you're getting bad beats like that, gambling is a problem. Give me your thoughts in the chat, man. Give me your thoughts. They were up 24. Oh, they were up 24. I thought it was 21. My bad. He could have closed the game out, posted under the basket, which he refuses to play. I love Embiid, but refusing to dominate in the post when you can close games out is criminal. It's a good point, man. He had Vucevic on the block 5 times and went with a fadeaway jumper 3 different times and turned the ball over 2 times after that. It was bad. It was very bad, but the lead already went all the way away when Joel Embiid was on the bench. So I'm not blaming Joel Embiid for the loss. I'm just saying that Joel came in to try to save us, and he was terrible. But I'm not putting the loss on Joel because, he's still ramping up, man. Jared McCain, he just came back. I'm not going to say anything about Jared McCain. He hasn't played basketball for 326 days. Comes back from a meniscus tear and a UCL tear in his thumb. He looked rusty as hell. It is what it is. He hasn't played basketball forever. But if you're going to talk, here's where stay on that side exists. You know what I'm saying? When I was talking trash about Ben Simmons and people were like, stay on that side, I'm like, stay on that side when? When he starts to shoot the ball? The guy sucks, When I trash a player, it's because I really feel like that player is trash, right? Tobias Harris, trash. But I have to see enough of that player to come to a concrete conclusion that that player is trash. And then then all bets are off. Then I'm just every night talking about how trash this guy is, right? And then people will be like, stay on that side. That doesn't make sense because that guy's trash, all right? But if Jared McCain did what he did last season and then was out for 326 days with injury and came back his first game back, couldn't get a bucket in 15 minutes, if you're talking negatively about him after that performance, after not playing basketball for 326 days, stay on that side. Keep that same energy. This is the only time something like that applies. Because if you're talking trash about Jared McCain after not playing for that long with injury, you have issues. You are out of your damn mind. And you need to put the phone down. You need to stop watching sports. You need to go outside. What do they say? Touch grass? Yeah. And VJ Edgecombe couldn't buy a bucket in this game. I didn't think he was as passive as he was in some other games. He still only had 12 field goal attempts. I don't really like that. I want VJ to have more field goal attempts than that. I thought he was more aggressive than he was, the past game or so. But he just couldn't get him to fall. It was like floaters and things like that. He just couldn't get him to fall. It is what it is. He's a rookie. Not going to really say anything negative about VJ Edgecombe either. The 76ers should have won this game. And I want to shout out Trendon Watford. I thought Trendon Watford had a great game, and I thought he was a really, really impactful in the third or fourth quarter down the stretch. Trendon Watford. There was a third quarter where there was a segment of the third quarter where we were running the offense through Trendon Watford because we were totally out of options, and he was making things happen. He's another versatile forward, has size, can put the ball on the floor, can shoot the ball a little bit, can pass the ball. So I still want to say I'm very happy with the amount of versatile forwards this team has compared to last season. Jabari Walker, too, although he only had 2 points in 19 minutes, but I think he played his role. That's all I have to say about the game. Now, what do you got to say? We got two guys over on the Discord right now. If you want to jump in the Discord and have your voice heard by 76ers fans around the world, click the Discord link at the top of the chat and give us your thoughts. We got Mo in the Discord. Yo, Mo, thanks for hanging out, man.
Yo, what's up, DJ?
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. I'm just a little depressed after that one, but
what you got for me, Mo? What you got, man? Come with the fire, man. I need some energy.
Some quick points, man. I think Nurse has been horrible this season, personally. He's been horrible in the third quarter, especially. These third quarter stalls are just. I mean, you look at other teams. You even look at the Bulls in this game. Whenever they get. Whenever they get stalled, they reset it at the top of the key. They get Josh Giddey off the screen. And I feel like for like 7 years, the Sixers have just never done that. We've never had a coach who gets them to reset it at the top of the key and run a pick and roll. Pick and roll is like one of the most basic actions you can run, but it's also so effective. And you have Tyrese Maxey. You can be running that all the time. We just get this passive. We pass it around the top of the key and just do a whole lot of nothing, and it turns into an ISO, and it just goes nowhere. And we saw it in the third quarter, and we saw it in the fourth quarter again. And in the fourth quarter, it was terrible. We didn't score for 7 minutes, bro. 7 minutes, we did not hit a field goal, and that was just that was insane to me.
Dude, I definitely agree on the third quarter stuff because we've seen it now. I feel like in every game so far this season, the third quarter stall. Like, I guess that's what we're going to call it. It seems like it happens every game, and I think you're right. I don't know. Is that a personnel issue also? You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, Maxey can run a pick and roll, but, like, Maxey will run the pick and roll and get to the floater or kick it back to Embiid. Like, Maxey doesn't have the versatility of a real facilitating point guard like Josh Giddey. Like that play that Josh Giddey made at the end, Maxey doesn't make that play. That's a very rare, very good passing point guard play at the end with a left-handed pass all the way to Vucevic over there. And Maxey just doesn't play the game like a traditional point guard, So when we are stalling, it would be nice for them to still run. I think you're still right. Run the pick and roll with Tyrese Maxey. Bring it back out. Run the pick and roll. Get something going. Where they'll spend 5 minutes just playing hot potato, passing the ball around the perimeter, and everything just goes to shit. I totally agree with you, but I also think what we saw in this game is part of the 76ers not having a real half-court facilitating point guard on their roster. That's what I think.
I mean, I definitely do agree to an extent, but it's just like,
and like Maxey got to him in the fourth quarter. He got some shots that he wanted. He just, for some reason, in the fourth, just couldn't make any. Well, late in the fourth,
yeah, he couldn't make anything.
Yeah, man.
But I can't really put that on Maxey. Last season, he was leading the league in clutch points. This season, he's second in the league in clutch points. So I can't really put it on Maxey. But I just, personally, I think Maxey's been a lot better as a facilitator over the past couple of years. Last year, I think he was really good. This year, he's taken a huge leap in my opinion. Obviously, I don't think he's a traditional point guard.
Yeah.
I think I've always thought he was more of a two guard, like an Allen Iverson type of guy.
Uh-huh.
I wanted us to put him next to a traditional point guard for a while, but I mean, I think just in the position that he's been in, I think he's been great as a playmaker.
I agree.
But,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. So if we're gonna put this on someone, we're putting this game on Nick Nurse. That's where we're at, right?
Yeah, just Nick Nurse leaving Grimes in for that long was insane to me. Grimes couldn't buy a bucket, man, and he was just turning the ball over. I think playing the Brooklyn Nets is like playing the Dallas Cowboys right now. Just anybody can get a bucket, anybody can do anything on them. But
yeah, it's true, man. It's true. You got anything else for me, Mo?
I saw a lot of. Last thing, I just think Quentin Grimes needs to take a little bit of a step back on the ball. I think I like him as a defender and I like him as a shooter. I don't think he's anywhere near an on-ball playmaker. The 13 assists was an insane outlier, but yeah, that's about it, DJ.
Yeah. Hey, man, thank you so much for the call, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Shout out to Mo on the Discord. Sorry for cutting you off there. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I like what Grimes has done this season, and I don't want to overreact to one game. He was bad in this game. I thought Nurse should have benched him in the third quarter. I don't even know why he put him back in the game. I guess because, McCain, you couldn't play really McCain in the fourth quarter. He needs a lot of time to get his legs back under him and get back to playing ball the way that he's used to. VJ hasn't been aggressive and hasn't looked like he's in control of the ball either. So I guess Nurse put Grimes back out there because he's confident in his ball handling ability and creation ability, but he was having a terrible game. He had 4 turnovers, and he couldn't buy a bucket from 3, airballed 1 from the corner. I don't understand putting him back in the game. I definitely don't understand drawing up the last play for him. But I don't really know what the answer was in this game. At the same time, like as much as I want to blame Nick Nurse, don't get me wrong. But I don't know what the answer was. Maxey went ice cold. He put Joel Embiid back in the game because they were losing without him on the floor, and Joel had 5 possessions in a row on Vucevic and couldn't get a bucket, 3 bricks and 2 turnovers. So I want to blame Nick Nurse, but at the same time, what exactly was he supposed to do? Because I feel like he did everything that he could. I don't understand getting Grimes the ball with 3 seconds left over Maxey, but the whole collapse just felt like there was nothing they could really do to stop it. That's just how I feel about it. Yo, Jarrett Newsom on the Discord. My man Jarrett Newsom is in the house.
What's happening, brother? What's happening?
What's
hey, I got to
on?
give it. That was classic crash out, man. I needed it too. I needed it because I was sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute. You're going to lose it? Up 21. But the thing is this, I'm going to tell you something. As my brother always says, who's not here, it's better to be down early than late. Now, I gotta put some numbers in. The Sixers scored 36 points in the second half.
Yikes.
36 points. And got D'd up. But the culmination of this game is very simple. You said it from the beginning. Embiid used to salivate when he saw Vucevic.
Yep.
Now, what is he doing? Vucevic is giving him a game. I'm like, man. I said in the chat, bro, I said, man, I hope Embiid makes me out a liar.
Man, he made Vucevic look like prime Al Horford defensively, man, or Marc Gasol or somebody.
He would make him look like, man, hey, yeah, ribeye steak. All right, let's tear it. But the thing is with him, it's like, man, it's killing me to see him like this, man.
Yeah.
He had 6 rebounds. And he's as tall as 6 rebounds. And Vucevic did you taking turnaround jumpers on Vucevic?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what to say. I mean, I think he's looked better than he has. Like this is the best game that he's had so far. But yeah, the fourth quarter stretch on Vucevic was terrible, man. There's no other way to put it. It was terrible.
But this is a team, like it was a team win. This is a team loss. When they took him out, hey, we fell on points. The motion offense was gone. It was like it was one-on-one basketball. When everybody's not touching the basketball, they're not gonna play great D. So it's just sad to me to see him go down like this, man. I mean, you up 21 points and you get beat like this. It was very disheartening, but I got to compliment you on the crash out because you was telling me how I felt.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Shout out my man Jared Newsom on the Discord, man. Good to hear from you. The funniest thing about the crash outs is that it's just natural, you know. Comes from inside of me. People that don't really know me, they say things like, you know, you just get all red in the face and scream because it gets you views or to try to get clicks. And I'm like, bro, I don't even know what I was saying. You think I wrote a script? You think I was like, all right, I got to be really angry today so that everyone thinks it's funny so that I get a bunch of views on it. Like, no, I legitimately came up here. In my mind, I was like, this is how it happens. Let me explain it to you. And I was in my mind, I'm like, all right, man, it is what it is. I'm not going to scream and yell up here. I thought the last play was stupid, but whatever. And then, like, I start talking about it out loud. And I feel like there's a angry 76ers demon inside of me that's it. You called me, I'm here. And it's a wrap for like 5 minutes, and then I come back to earth. That's how it happens. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. Yo, thank you for the super chat. Bixen Kai. Maxey couldn't close the game. Nurse is not a good coach. We got to stop blaming Joel for everything. Start holding people accountable, even Maxey. Well, yeah. Tyrese had 39 points. He was cooking the whole game. He's been absolutely phenomenal the whole NBA season so far. And he went completely ice cold at the end of the fourth quarter. I can't slander Tyrese Maxey for that. That's just basketball, you know? He was still getting to his shots. He just suddenly couldn't make the shots. I don't know how we're going to hold him accountable for something. What did he do that we're supposed to hold him accountable for? He was doing the same thing he did the whole game. The ball just wasn't going in anymore. And he airballs a mid-range, and he airballs a three on the left wing. I mean, yeah, Maxey was cooking. And when it mattered the most, he went ice cold. But I can't say anything bad about him because there's probably 4 out of the 5 wins the 76ers have right now are literally because Tyrese Maxey carried us in the fourth quarter. This is his first bad fourth quarter of the season, and I'm just going to leave it at that. When it comes to blaming Joel, I know people are probably mad in the chat. Me personally, I'm not blaming him for the loss because we lost the game with him on the bench. The whole league got taken away with him on the bench. That doesn't mean that when he came in, he wasn't god-awful. When he came in the fourth quarter, he was embarrassingly bad. I mean, you can't even argue that. You know, so I think, like, a lot of times everybody wants to blame a certain player. They like to blame the player that they hate the most, and then they like to defend the player they like the most. And, like, if we're being objective about it, Maxey went ice cold, and Joel Embiid absolutely sucked when he came back in. And Nick Nurse was bad and called the final play for Quentin Grimes for some reason. But at the same time, I'm not sure what Nick Nurse was really supposed to do, to be honest with you. I would have called the last play for Tyrese Maxey no matter what. I don't care if Maxey airballed his last 5 shots. He has 39 points on his birthday. He's the reason we have 5 wins right now. 3 seconds left. I'm giving the ball to Tyrese Maxey. I'm not making him decoy in the backcourt. So Quentin Grimes, who's 0 for 5 from 3 and just shot an air ball from the corner, can take the game-winning shot. That's where I'm at with it. I say it all the time, and it seems like it's always why the 76ers collapse when Joel goes to the bench, because Joel hasn't had a great game yet, but they still collapsed when he went to the bench, because even though he hasn't had a great game yet, he's the whole offensive system running around Joel Embiid. So it still feels like when Joel goes to the bench, there's no plan. There's no offensive system. There's nothing. And Maxey has to lead the charge without a plan. And tonight it just didn't work out. So, I mean, they need something else besides just Joel Embiid ball. Best part of this game was being in the stream and seeing hundreds of people flaming on the team because Giddy wrecked you guys. DeSonics is a Bulls fan. Yeah, man, DeSonics. Hey, man, shout out to the Chicago Bulls. Because, again, I think if you were in there at halftime, I'm not sure if you were in there at halftime, but I was saying that I didn't feel good about it because I didn't think the Sixers were playing good defense. And even though they were up 21, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm just watching the Bulls miss a lot of wide open shots. And if they start making these wide open shots, we're in trouble. And that is exactly what happened. So I think the Sixers need to... They're having some defensive issues. And they need to figure it out. And Joel Embiid couldn't save us when he came in the fourth quarter. Let's go over to my list of Sixers reporters on Twitter before we get out of here. And that's what we'll do, man. Oh, my camera's not even over there. Damn. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get my camera over there. No. Let's see. Come on now. All right. Well, I don't have a camera on that slide. I'll go to Twitter. I can't put it on the screen because I messed up my OBS, but I'll just read it. All right. Sixers reporters on Twitter. Let's see. Kai Carlin says Nick Nurse said he liked the final possession. Nick Nurse said he liked the final possession. They drew up a play for Quentin Grimes for the win, and it was a good shot that he just missed. Quentin Grimes couldn't dribble the ball and couldn't shoot the ball the whole game. I need to know why you would draw up the final play for Quentin Grimes. That doesn't make sense. And it's the second time Nick Nurse has drawn up the play for Quentin Grimes in the fourth quarter now. First one a couple games ago was a turnover. What? What the hell is wrong with Nick Nurse, man? Right when I thought, dude, I was crashing out over Nick Nurse all season last season. Because this guy was making decisions that was just making me want to headbutt a wall. I could not figure out how this guy was making these decisions consciously. Like putting Kyle Lowry in a fourth quarter when Jared McCain had 29 points and not bringing McCain back in the game, right? Or running a lineup of Kyle Lowry, Tyrese Maxey, Eric Gordon, and Reggie Jackson all on the floor together. 4 dudes under 6'3", 3 of them 40 years old and can't move. I watched so many ridiculous decisions by Nick Nurse last year. Playing Fat Butt Yabusele at center. Gershon Yabusele can't run or jump. Nick Nurse played him at center all season and got smoked. I watched this coach make so many dumbass head-scratching decisions last season. And they start this season 4-0. 5-1, and I'm like, all right, maybe Nurse isn't that much of a dumbass. He just needed a good roster, and now he has a good roster, and he draws up a play to win the game for the guy who was having the worst game. He literally intentionally drew up a play for the guy that was having the worst game and shouldn't have even been in the game in the fourth quarter. So we're getting eerily close to me concluding that the Sixers roster is a lot better this season. And Nick Nurse is a dumbass. Yeah. That's all I got. If you ever come into the stream and my audio is cutting out, you got to refresh YouTube. It's just it's a YouTube live stream thing for some reason, although I should triple check that it's not something that has to do with my setups and my OBS settings or something. So I'll triple check the audio settings for the next stream, but usually you refresh YouTube and it fixes it, but that still might have something to do with like streaming bit rate or something else. Anyway, yeah, that's all I got to say. Well, actually, I wanted to read some more. Do I want to read more Sixers reporters, man? Let's see. Kai Carlin, Keith Pompey. Paul Hudrick says, brutal loss for the 76ers. Offensive process was horrendous down the stretch. Not going to be an easy one tomorrow either. The Sixers play the Cleveland Cavaliers tomorrow. They'll probably be without Joel Embiid. They'll probably be without Jared McCain and Paul George. Kyle Newbeck says a decision-making disaster class from the Sixers over the last 24 minutes. Yeah, look, the Sixers have been good this season. I know everybody's crashing out in the chat and acting like this is the worst team you've ever seen, but this was a very bad game. This was very bad fourth quarter execution, and I don't understand what the hell Nick Nurse was doing. But let's not forget how good they've been this season, man. And so we're going to get right back on the horse tomorrow, man. Sixers are beating the Cavs tomorrow. Like, this team is fundamentally flawed. There's no coach that can fix that. You see what I mean? We were 4-0. We were talking about how great everything was. 2 losses. And this is what you guys do. This team is fundamentally flawed. All right, guys, I love you.